Thank you, Professor Likmaga. And now, last but not least, Robbie Barnett, our long-standing friend and former director of the Modern Tibetan Studies program and the senior research scholar in modern Tibetan history at Columbia University in USA.
Voice narrating the film we just saw.
Well, what an honor it is to be here this evening with all of you. Some of you I've seen so many times over the last 30 years, and it's so moving to hear you talk and reflect on the past, and so touching, especially what Chungdala has been saying to us, to pass on the torch from the older generation to the generation of Anadeski and the younger people here. This is a historic moment. We're at a turning point, and I'm very privileged to be able to come, to be invited here, and to hear my great mentor, academic exemplar, Professor Werner and Professor Magas, a very special occasion for me. I have been asked to give a kind of more academic attempt to assess the contribution of His Holiness over the last 30 years of the situation. I'm not going to be very academic, but just to make a couple of points. I think when we, if I talk about His Holiness in a personal way, you know, he's someone who, as you all know, is very humorous. He always, when he meets me, he calls me Nagu Chenpo. I'll let all the Tibetans leave that with them. Somebody unfortunately once told him that I had once appeared in a film as a chicken, and he always makes me do chicken noise imitation, which was particularly embarrassing once in front of the European Parliament. But still. But what's actually remarkable about him is not the humour, it's the ability to combine the humour with the seriousness. And when I first met him, and over subsequent times, it's his quality of ability to listen that is really astonishing. It's a real seriousness about what are the meanings of the words being spoken to him. You don't see this in public speeches that he gives, but you certainly see it when you speak to him directly. He values other people's ideas, other people's thoughts. But what I see, trying to think about him historically, is also a combination of a perhaps unusual kind. I was talking with Professor Werner yesterday about this, an ability to combine the traditional with the modern. It's very hard for us to imagine how remarkable his achievement has been in modernizing thinking about religion, not just Tibetan Buddhism. But this modernizing project that he's been involved in, it has a lot in common actually with certain churches in the West, maybe the bishop and so on, from some churches and some religious movements, but many religious movements are traditionalist. They try to move towards a conservative position. The Dalai Lama has been exceptional in trying to develop modernization without losing some of the benefits of tradition, a kind of selective combination of those. And this is really important, and when he goes, we're going to really value this. We're going to realize just how remarkable that achievement was. Without him, we will, I'm afraid, see a lot of sliding back towards older practices, traditions, dynamics within conventional religions that he was able to put aside during his time. Things like sectarianism, things like aggressive evangelization, intolerance. He's managed to push those things away in my lifetime. It wasn't like that before. Even when I was young, for example, first meeting Tibetan Lamas. They were very against any discussion by Western Buddhists of Tibet politics. They would say, don't get involved in politics, don't mention it. His Holiness reintroduced the importance of the political, the importance of discourse about rights into Tibetan Buddhism. He didn't require people to do it, but he made it possible for people in the West, and also of course Tibetans, to see that these things run together, that a religion includes the social and the political. This is a really important development. We don't see it so much before him, and we may not see it so much after him. Fundamentally, his contribution is to persuade people to think about religion in really, if we analyze it in terms of rights. I don't mean human rights, I agree with Professor Klerner. In terms of a notion of equity, a notion that a religious belief is embedded within a framework of humans and humans as equal beings. We see some of this in a more detailed way with his approach to liberal concepts that Anna Desky mentioned about environment, his approach to women's rights, his approach to gender rights, sexual harassment. He's aggressively advanced in introducing these into religious discourse. But of course, what he's maybe most famous for and most important is for his emphasis on tolerance, his opposition to notions of religious supremacism, his opposition to the notion that only one religion is the truth, his openness to the multiplicity of religious views. That's a huge contribution historically and enormously valuable. And I'm afraid I could point to many growing tendencies in the later years recently where you see opposite tendencies emerging all around us, both politically and sometimes in religious spheres. Similarly with violence, his approach to non-violence, I feel, some people will disagree with me, that what has happened in Hong Kong, the drift of the Hong Kong protesters to violence, is going to be seen as a huge vindication of His Holiness's insistence over many years that violence is fundamentally, deeply counterproductive and damaging for those who are involved in it, especially small movements in asymmetrical conflicts. I fear that the violence in Hong Kong and the difficulty a lot of liberals have felt in condemning that violence is going to backfire and has already triggered a cycle of violence towards the protesters, which is very painful and has been an advantage to China in promoting nationalist discourse in China. So I think, without him saying anything, unfortunately, contemporary events, as we move into a more violent sphere of history, more populist, more aggressive forms of politics, we're going to look back on him and people like him, Bishop Tutu, and politicians like Havel and people like this. We're going to look back and really miss this contribution. But I want to mention that there are, of course, criticisms to be made by scholars and others of some of his, the ways he carried out some of his policies. Everyone who follows this will have their own views on each of his methods of implementation and so on. I'm quite critical of the fact that he didn't call on the Southern Malaysians directly to stop. Some people don't agree. They feel that he was right to just discourage it, not to call on them to stop. There are issues like this. Fundamentally, he's been remarkable in identifying important general directions for strategy, and the details of tactics are things that, as scholars and people involved, we will disagree about. But the details are much more difficult for him because he's alone. He doesn't have a kind of modern administration with highly equipped advisors in their scores and hundreds who can advise him. He's the head of a tiny community, and he's under huge pressure, and he comes from a very conservative base in his past. So his modernizing and his general perception of the way to move forward has been remarkable. I want to turn now finally to two larger questions. How do we assess the political directions that you took, what Professor Caverna talked to us about? Well, one of the issues is the assessment of the state of the Tibetan issue now. It was hugely successful at this high point.
This is
Man of Peace.
illustrated life story of the Dalai Lama of Tibet. It's made by Turner. I think it's a lifelong work he's done. So, and if anyone wants to buy this one, it's heavy, but we can manage to order it for you.
Okay.
This is a wonderful work, and I added also the speech from. Thank you so much.
Depth of my heart. First and foremost goes to the founding fathers and mothers of the Norwegian Tibet Committee. Some of you all are here. Perla, Chundala, Jambala, Rinzintagela, Tutela, Losala, Ngala. All the Tibetans have been part of the Tibetan Norwegian Tibet Committee. So, Tibet Committee's birth goes hand in hand with His Holiness's Peace Prize. But we haven't come to the goal yet, so we have to have you all along with us still. And then secondly, I would like to say thank you so much to our paying members and long-lasting Tibet supporters who make donations. Their continuous support is the foundation of our existence of the Tibet Committee. This is you all who made this happen today. Without your contribution, we wouldn't have been able to make this celebration today. And then our board of directors, without a penny in our pockets, they continue to work for Tibet Committee. And I would like to mention their names. Gregor, thank you. Loretta, Aniela and Lila Kai, Harmanvi, and our deputy member Norzin. And lastly, I would like to say thank you to Meto. Not only to Meto, actually, to her mother, who has forced her to come to the Tibet Committee. And we are really thankful to you. And then, of course, the youth group, Anna and Patrick, keeping the youth group alive. And then my gratitude to all the Tibetans who continuously come to the demos and make food for the activities and come year after year to stick the envelopes to send to the, we have to send these envelopes to our members. To them, I really, really thank from my heart. Because without Tibetans engaging in the Tibet Committee, there is no reason for Tibet Committee to exist. And now finally, I would like to say thank you so much to Professor Perkane, Professor Moga, and Professor Barnett, and Bishop Gunnar Stolze, and the Indian Embassy, and for the Uyghur Committee and Hong Kong Committee to making this evening a special one for us.